Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Lex Black. You're tuning into my show, Midnight Arcade. This is episode 29, and oh man, following the release of Boruto Chapter 80, shit got real. Okay, it got very real. Things are heating up. We're finally at the point of the time skip. The very first thing that we saw in the manga and in the anime, where they met on the Hokage Mountain, and Boruto remarks, "I never thought you would go this far, Kawaki." And at the time when we first saw this back in 2015 or 2016, we were like, whoa, what's going on here? This sounds crazy. This looks epic. Like, what's going on here? And then the foreshadowing of the death of the Hokage, and yeah, so we're gonna get into it, man. So the time skip is here. Boruto was manned up in the face of overwhelming adversity and odds. Sarada has become one of the few other Uchiha in Uchiha clan history to obtain the coveted Mangekyo Sharingan. This occurrence is especially epic due to the circumstances surrounding how she obtained her Mangekyo, okay? I have some questions though. This episode is going to be about positing questions for you guys so that we can have this discussion in the comment section. So I implore you guys, make sure you comment, and before anything else, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for whenever I drop that new heat. You heard? Yes, sir. I am so excited for this episode because I wanted to hear what you guys have to say and see what you guys are thinking in regards to the direction of the story come after the hiatus when Chapter 81 debuts at the end of August, man. It's almost too long, but this is what makes for these videos to be great, okay? So I have some questions, some speculations, some ideas, some things I heard as I traversed through different threads of discussion and whatnot, but we won't get to that until after the jump. All right, guys, here we are. We're back. So, I was thinking after the events of Chapter 80, and if you guys want to hear my breakdown on what I think about it, check out my episode Chapter 28 of Midnight Arcade. It's going to be like the video prior to this. It's in season 3. Make sure you check it out, okay? But man, I was thinking about Sasuke in particular because you guys know I'm pro big dogs. I am pro the OG cast, right? So I was thinking about Sasuke in this situation, and I was like, man, the first thing that came to my mind was he should definitely link up with Orochimaru. Now, I know that there are a lot of stipulations and a lot of red tape per se for him to linking up with Orochimaru, but hear me out for a second. Hear me out. Who better of a candidate to help avoid the forces of Konoha and the 5 great nations than him? When it comes to that kind of stuff, subterfuge, all the other stuff with Orochimaru, he is him. You understand? There is also the potential added benefit that Orochimaru is a genius, okay? Not only is he a genius, but he's a genius scientist, as well as someone who should be able to find the way to unravel the effects of Ada on his own memories somehow. A reach? Yeah, maybe, but in the land of reaches, a la the writers of Boruto, okay, anything is fair game. Let's be real here, all right? Plus, even if Orochimaru's memories remained affected by Ada, all right, he is such a morally gray character, I'm almost positive that he'd find these developments very interesting, Birdman hand rub type interesting, all right? Because he is a true agent of chaos. Let us not forget who this man is. He is the perfect candidate. If he were to be approached by Sasuke, you know he'd help him in a heartbeat, considering all that they've been through and just the kind of person that he is. Now, given his scientific proclivities, okay, let's just call it that for what it is right now, okay? How sick would it be if Orochimaru provided Sasuke with a spare Sharingan, perhaps, or just a regular eye replacement in general, okay? Remember what I said back in episode 2 of my show? Check it out. So, has anyone ever wondered what would happen if Sasuke were to receive a regular eye to replace his lost Rinnegan? Like, we know that the Uchiha have special chakra in their brains that's a little bit different from the chakra circulating throughout the rest of their body. Is it so far outside the realm of possibility that any eye, no matter what kind of eye it is, implanted into a powerful Uchiha like Sasuke would and maybe should turn into a Sharingan again? Like, imagine that. I really would love for the writers to explore that option. I mean, I'm sure many in the community have asked that question or even wondered it internally. We gotta find out about these things, man. I wish we had a direct line to these guys to be like, yeah, you should try this theory out. Because I'm pretty sure that if you put a regular eye in there, like, it's probably going to turn to a Sharingan. What is stopping it from turning into a Sharingan at the very least? You know what I'm saying? And then you couple that now with the fact that Sasuke has been living with Six Paths Chakra for up to this point over 15 years now. There's no reason in the world why the regular eye to turn to a Sharingan can't turn into a Rinnegan again. Again, it's the plot armor. It's just whether the writers are brave enough to man those waters again in light of the new generation and how they're trying to bring light to those guys. You know, it's just a plot armor thing. So think about how crazy that would be if Orochimaru, you know, considering all the things that are impending, the massive conflicts that are going to be taking place, it would be so wrong of the writers to not give Sasuke some sort of buff. And even if they just gave him a regular eye, because of the special chakra in his brain and because of the special chakra in his head, in his cranium, in his skull, and the lingering Six Paths Chakra in his body, I really strongly believe that somehow, some way, at the very least, he would restore his Sharingan in that missing eye. Now, on to Sarada, her Mangekyo Sharingan and her breaking the curse is huge, massive. And for anyone who has kind of anything negative to say about it, or if there's any of the detractors of the backlash, as I stated in episode 28, Sarada is not the first Uchiha to unleash her Mangekyo Sharingan at such a young age. Others have released theirs younger, and the circumstances surrounding hers are a little bit different because, as I said in the last episode, it's the strong feelings of love and the potential loss of those things of love are what awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan in her. She didn't witness anybody dying in front of her. She wasn't consumed with hatred and becoming an avenger. So her path is going to be so different. This is why I'm so excited to see the development of her on her path to becoming Hokage. But in a sense now, when we're speaking about the current events, if there's a way for Sasuke to access Sarada's memories via the Sharingan, would that potentially help Sasuke find a way to break out of the curse for his own memories from Ada's spell? It's really not that far-fetched when you guys sit down and really think about this. Sasuke, after all, broke out of Itachi's Tsukuyomi, even though he didn't have his Mangekyo Sharingan at the time. Now, I know the power, the foundation of said power, the scale of said power, and the property of Ada's Shinjutsu is on a different level, on a different plane, in a different category, right? But as Sarada's uncle once said, every jutsu has a weakness. So take of that what you will. Now, my other question is this: how will she manage to move around in Konoha over the course of the time skip if she does decide to remain in Konoha? And extending that question, how will Sakura manage, especially dealing with all of the developments? Naruto dying, quote unquote, okay, Sasuke going rogue again. I think Sakura is far too sharp just to go along with everything and not question the inconsistencies and the fogginess in her own memories. And on top of that, she will have the utmost trust in Sasuke and her daughter by extension. So honestly, I'm not really worried about Sakura during the time skip. I'm sure she'll come to her own conclusions, and it will come in a way where it won't put her under any suspicion because she's a professional. And as much as I don't really like her character, we gotta admit that she's hard body. She's a beast, and she's smart as hell. So she'll find a way to put two and two together despite the Shinjutsu effect of Ada and all that stuff. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about that I wanted to pose this question to you guys is, who will oversee Sarada's training? Where will she even train during this time skip? That's what I'm curious about. And who will oversee it? You know, I heard some people say Kakashi. I also heard some people say that her dad might end up training her. The latter is kind of a stretch, but in some ways it's still plausible. Kakashi training her would be epic for a number of reasons, but also just because, like, who better to help her train with a Mangekyo Sharingan than Kakashi, who used to have the Sharingan, and he's just a genius in general. So hell yeah, that'd be sick. And then the other question about Sarada is, will she even stay in the village? As I said earlier, will she even stay in the village knowing what she knows and being as immune to Ada in almost every way that she is as she is? Will she link back up with her father and Boruto, and will they all train together? I don't really see that happening, especially to the last part. I don't really see her linking up with them, because just in this case would be more trouble for Boruto and Sasuke. So I say no to that last part of the question. And also because of precedent. Okay, now if you look back in Shippuden, you know, their predecessors, right? Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, they all went their separate ways to train. And that's just what it is. So if we're going by precedent alone, then Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki are all going to be doing their own training on their own, or whomever else they consider part of Team 7. Kawaki is a different case because of the machinations that he's putting in play, and him becoming the new villain per se. Now, when it comes to the big dog, the boss hog, Naruto Uzumaki, man, I thought, now in my last episode, I thought that he would be fully awake, fully aware, but just trapped in this dimension without having any space-time ninjutsu to kind of get out of it. He would bide his time by training and getting stronger while he's there. But when I saw him in that frame in chapter 80, he was frozen AF, like suspended in animation AF, like crazy. So then it begs the question, is that just a visual to add to the dramatic flair of the moment, or will he find some sort of way out of the suspension to be able to train? Or will the writers somehow explain that he got a slight power up when he inevitably makes his return, and they'll just be coy on the details of his time in the other dimension? I honestly think that if he does remain in suspended animation, he could train internally. Now, you guys have to remember, he is a master sage user, okay? So this could actually be the perfect time for him to take his sage mode to another level, like altogether. I mean, he's kind of got nothing else to do if he's floating in animation, suspended animation this whole time, and except to be still. And you know what it is with sage training. You got to be still in order to harness the natural energy around you. And if he's remaining still in this dimension, I don't know what the nature particulars are going to be, or the science behind it. If those rules apply in that dimension, will he be able to gather nature energy around him? I don't know. Will he be able to gather energy that's pertaining specifically to the dimension? And what will that do to his sage power? Who knows? I mean, these are things that we are waiting to be answered, but this is why it's so fun to pose these questions to you guys. Make sure you comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. Despite my speculation here, this has all the workings though necessary for sage jutsu training to actually take place, if that's where the writers go with it. I really hope they do, because if they're not gonna, you guys know I've been harping on them bringing Kurama back, but if they're not gonna do that, they gotta give him some sort of buff. They have to give him some sort of buff, because think about it like this. I also think that while the main spotlight will definitely be on Boruto, this is his series after all, right? Considering his insane power increase, upgrade in skill over the time skip, of course, I think that Naruto will definitely make a dramatic re-entrance onto the battlefield at a critical moment when all seems lost, just like the God Body 4th Hokage did during the 4th Ninja War. Still, to this day, one of the coldest entrances of all time, in my personal opinion. Cold, ice cold. Woo! Now that brings me to Code. Despite my loathing of the idiot, he is coming with a vengeance, with his 10-tail army in tow, of course. And he's definitely gonna throw a massive wrench into literally everything, okay? He's out for blood, and he just wants smoke with every and anybody, okay? Especially in the wake of the inevitable battle between Kawaki and Boruto. So I'm really interested to see the development in that respect. Then another question I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about what Himawari is going to be going through? Like, how will she feel and how will she develop in all of this, right? And what kind of role will she play in the future? Will she be completely fooled by Ada's jutsu as well, or will she figure out some of the inconsistencies and start questioning things? How will she cope knowing that her mom and dad were killed by Boruto, which was actually kidnapped by Kawaki, but you guys know with the Shinjutsu switcheroo? Yeah. So I'm just curious about that. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. Now, as far as Sumire and her role, her and Sarada being potential foils to Ada, Sumire will most likely stay in the village, of course. I think that's the general consensus of what she's going to be doing. And there could also be a scenario where Sumire stays in the village while Sarada is away from the village, and they share intel whenever, if ever they can, to stay abreast of the goings on in Konoha. That is, if Ada doesn't spot them, of course. And that's a big if, right? Where Boruto and Sasuke will go to train is anyone's guess, right? But there are a lot of places they could take refuge, given Sasuke's connections and the hideouts that he knows about from the time that he was young and how much he utilized them during the hunt for Itachi up until now. All of his travels, he's a seasoned vet. He's Sasuke Uchiha. He is him, all right? So he's probably gonna have some places where him and Boruto can sit down, camp out, take safe refuge, train, and build on whatever it is they're trying to build to get back in fighting form and fighting shape and be ready for the next conflict coming up.
Yo, and for all we know, guys, it might be a development in the time skip or during the time skip when the final conflict happens between Boruto and Kawaki that Boruto learns and masters the ability, his space-time ninjutsu. And then he uses that space-time ninjutsu to send Sasuke to the dimension where Naruto is. They find a way to locate Naruto, and Sasuke goes and finds a way to free him and bring Naruto back via the chakra signature of Boruto that he leaves behind for Sasuke to trail back to the opening or whatever it is. I mean, I'm freestyling here, but think about that. That is definitely a possibility that Boruto actually has Sasuke going to intercept or find where Naruto is in the dimension that Kawaki has kept him in Hinata, and he goes and saves them, and then they all make some sort of triumphant return. Possibility, just saying.
I don't think the two of them being on the move will be as difficult. Like I said, I don't think it will be as difficult as some may anticipate. Even with the 5 great nations kind of on their ass, they're going to be on their ass, right? So we'll see. But Sasuke, he does this. This is what he does. This isn't his first go around. He's a pro at this. You feel me? Now, my other question is, how will everyone cope with the developments, right? Like, what will even happen to the state and stability of Konoha itself? There's so many damn questions and not enough answers at the moment, but that's what makes this fun. Guys, there's a million other questions that I wanted to ask, but I wanted to open up the floor to you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I drop that new heat. Please participate. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I want to talk about this stuff, man. This is fun. And I'm also, I wish that we could get chapter 81 sooner, but you know, again, this leaves time for a lot of speculation, a lot of potential. I feel like the writers are going to be sitting back and they're going to be looking at all of the thought bubbles, and they're going to be looking at all the things that the fans are thinking about and saying, and they're going to be like, if they haven't figured it out already, they're going to be taking some notes. It'd be nice if they did. They probably already have it figured out, but still, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't touched on and haven't gotten to, but still, I wanted to bring these questions up to you guys to start having you guys think about these things. But again, like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I drop that new heat. You heard, yes sir, this is Midnight Arcade episode 29. Episode 30 is on the way, and then we're going to be wrapping up season 3 and looking forward to season 4. I'm excited for everything, guys. Make sure you stay tuned, and make sure you check out the link in my bio. It has links to everything that I do. I'm an author, I'm a musician, I'm putting together a new website for merch. I also create art, so the link is in the bio. Make sure you check out all the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm gone.